G'day friends, welcome to Mermay Day 24 of Mermay 2024. Oh, that's all interesting. This is the Zendaya piece that I already shared on Instagram maybe a few weeks ago, whenever the Met Gala was. The first Monday in May, so that's when I shared it, a few weeks ago. The reason I shared it was because I had done a couple of other mermaids from that Margiela show, and I knew I wasn't going to share them until that day, pardon me, in Mermay, maybe the 19th, I don't know, I forgot what day it was. But then I was thinking, like, sometimes, you know, some of these are so date specific, or you can just tell, like, there's a big disconnect between the day I'm sharing it with you and the day that that thing happened that it is relevant to. And a lot of the time I don't think I would really care, but sometimes I let Steve play social media manager for me. Very rarely, but sometimes I will just listen to his advice, and he was like, we'll just share it now because it just happened, and, you know, put your drawing in the mix of everyone else's that is doing it right now, because it'll look old a month from now, which, again, I don't think it really matters that much, but I did it anyway, and yeah, I was happy to share it back then, but it kind of ruined the surprise, so you've already seen it, and it's okay. I really love it. It's a fashion illustration. You can see some pictures of Patsy Stone on the side of on the other page. Those were the ones I printed. Remember I told you I came across that pouch that had all these photos in it? Those were the ones that I just found in there and just put in my book. Love Patsy. And I was just really taken with the look, like the whole look of it. I was really taken with how Zendaya presented it on the red carpet and did the whole haute couture fashion model fantasy. And I really love that. I think it's so interesting nowadays how we have celebrities who enter that fashion space. Like, I know fashion houses got involved in the world of celebrity back, you know, in the earlier days on red carpets and everything, to kind of associate their brands with this celebrity and this, you know, fame and money and all that kind of thing that you do. But nowadays, there seems to be a much stronger tie between celebrity and fashion, which didn't used to be the case. And it is kind of funny to think that it's a marketing thing, but the way that happens is that a lot of stylists are responsible for the way that certain celebrities are tied into certain brands. And there's a stylist that Zendaya works with since she was like 13 or 14, Law Roach, and they collaborate on all of the looks that they do together. And as a stylist, I think not me as a stylist, but like, I think it's interesting to know that behind all of these celebrities and these, you know, fashion moments, there are other people whose full-time job it is to create these fashion moments and to help celebrities piece that together and put that together. And that sometimes a celebrity can really be bolstered in the public light by the associations they have with different fashion brands and fashion houses and campaigns. So, for instance, there was Anne Hathaway is one that I think really benefits from her ties to fashion. Anya Taylor-Joy. And it's not just fashion brands, but beauty brands as well. Like, if, you know, they become the face of Estee Lauder or something like that. Julia Roberts. People like that really, I mean, it's also money for them, but it puts their celebrity outside of the realm of what the celebrity is famous for. So it takes a lot of actors and puts them into this other fashion space where it just seems like, you know, you become more familiar with them and their face is even more in the public eye, and it just kind of bolsters their celebrity a little bit, I feel. So I've always kind of been fascinated with that. On the same token, I, as like a fashion lover and, you know, fashion illustration lover, fashion photography lover, fashion magazine lover, I actually got really irritated by a lot of the campaigns or the editorials that I would see where actors were the models, because a lot of the time it was just so much less than I wanted. Like, the actors were just themselves in the fashion, and even though I could appreciate the fashion for what it was, or the styling for what it was, maybe even the editorial itself was put together in a really fun and interesting way, it just felt like it was a celebrity puff piece and not a fashion thing. And maybe that was elitist of me back in the day. I mean, I'm not a fashion person, so I don't know how it could be, but I kind of like rejected the idea of celebrity being in fashion, and I think it was because they didn't sell the same fantasy that the models did. The models I mean, so a lot of people think they're just the coat hangers for the clothes, or they're just the vessels for us to see the fashion. But a lot of the time, the models themselves were personalities that would kind of lend themselves to the fantasy, and they were actors of a sense. But, you know, their special skills were posing the house down, like giving you angles and lines and geometry you've never seen with bodies before in a way that was just so interesting to look at. Or, you know, their faces were so unbelievably sculpted or unique. Not that actors aren't. I mean, honestly, now most actors are models, but you know, back in the day, that just wasn't the case. I think now we're in this interesting space because people like Zendaya are actually capable of doing what the models can do, and then she actually brings that to these shoots. And so that's where there is a really interesting cross-section for me now where I can fully appreciate celebrity being a part of it, but I think it also disconnects again from the celebrities that aren't able to do that. And I don't, like, they don't have to be, you know, the stereotypical supermodel size. I don't need them to be 5'11", I don't need them to be 22 pounds light, I don't need them to be, you know, perfectly symmetrical with straight teeth, and, you know, because that's not even realistically what models are anymore. But I mean, they always kind of change, but I need whatever they do. I need, if an actor like steps into a model space to do all the fashion fantasy, I need them to give over as the model. Like, and you know who does that really well? Anne Hathaway. She does that really well. But again, she's really beautiful, and she's, you know, she fits in all those clothes, and she's stunning to look at. So she kind of crosses that boundary as well. There's a lot of actors now that I just think, you know, moonlight as models as well. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, Zendaya, I think, was the first actor that kind of shifted my perspective on that, because she goes into a shoot and does it like a supermodel. If you've never seen it and you're curious, just type in like Zendaya photo shoot behind the scenes and you'll see it. I mean, she's the fans on, she's throwing her body everywhere, she's got the angles. Even the way she presented this at the Met Gala, that's why I found it so captivating, because the Met Gala is a fashion event, and most people that attend it are popular actors and celebrities and singers and, you know, non-models, but it's a fashion thing. So you're getting to see all the fashion on people that don't necessarily walk it down the runway. And it's a really interesting experience to see how all of that translates. But a lot of the time I just think, you know, we're just supposed to accept that, like, you know, oh, she's famous and she's walking in that gown. I don't really care. I want to see, like, what is the fantasy of her being in that gown? But I think it takes an extra level of, you know, insanity to get on the red carpet and pose like you're a model if you're not. So big props to the actors and celebrities that do it. I just love that fantasy. I love it. I don't think it's too serious. I think even models, like supermodels that do it, and, you know, you're doing a really serious fashion shoot and it was all very, you know, intense and everything, I still think there's an element of fun and frivolity to it. It's campy. It's kind of insane. That's the way that I view it anyway, and it keeps it a little bit more enjoyable for me, because you can't take yourself that seriously. You can, and I think you should in the shoot. I think that's what you should convey. But I think at the end of the day, I say this to Steve a lot, whenever we start to build too much meaning or importance into something and it feels a little like, what's going on here? You know, if he's at work and it starts to get a little overwhelming, I'm like, it's just sing-song. You're just doing sing-songs at work. That's all you're doing. I'm just doing dancing. Just some dancing. That's it. Sing songs and dancing. And then you can kind of bring yourself back down to reality a little bit. Even when we were doing photo shoots at the studio, I'm like, it's just America's Next Top Model. I don't think of it as anything more than just Tyra Banks giving me an America's Next Top Model challenge, and that there's an element of stupidity to it. So I like it that way. I think fashion's always been really fun. I think it's, yeah, I've never bought into this space of, like, I mean, I appreciate the artistry of it, but I mean, it's like a lot of these things. There's a byproduct of, you know, art and creativity doing, you know, good things for humanity, but at the same time, I try not to take anything that seriously. So if these are just things I can enjoy, I'll just enjoy them. And I think it looks like Zendaya enjoys it. And I think that's why I'm gravitated towards her, and why I think, every time she has a fashion moment, I'm so in it and I'm so captivated by it because it looks like she's enjoying herself. She's like, well, I've got resources because I'm a celebrity. I've got a stylist who can procure all of these things for me. I've got the money. The interesting thing about them as well is that they will buy the pieces. A lot of the houses will design things custom, and stylists will reach out to Versace and say, hey, we love this look. Can you do it custom for Jennifer Lopez? And she's going to wear it to this, and send us over 3 options, and then they'll be like, okay, we'll do that. They'll do it. They'll send it over. She'll wear one. And all of that is a transaction that just happens, on the house. And really, the people that get paid are the stylists, or, they get paid for their services. The assistants, the hair and makeup and all that kind of stuff. And then even sometimes I've heard of people not being paid for all that because it's good exposure, which is crazy because like at that level, who are you getting the exposure for? If you can't even get paid with a celebrity, then who's going to pay you to do it? I guess regular people like us, but they won't buy the gown from Versace. They'll just ship it over, they'll wear it. It's custom, so at the same time you're like, well, who else is going to wear it? But sometimes they ship it right back. Goes into storage, goes on display at museums if it's some kind of iconic piece that had a moment, or it just goes back into the archive, or sometimes they just let the celebrity keep it. And it's just, a transaction for, hey, you wear this, promote us, make sure you tell everyone on the red carpet, hey, I'm wearing Versace Couture, it's custom. And that's a part of their marketing budget, really. So that, and I think that's why also you never take away the fact that people sometimes make looks that are a little bit outrageous or a little bit insane, or they have these moments on the red carpet that are a bit like, what is going on there? They can be publicity stunts. How many people attend the Met Gala, and then how many people do you actually remember seeing photographs of or remembering what they wear? It's just a handful. And, social media is such another key part of marketing. You don't directly have to pay social media creators to market your brand. If you have a moment, all of us artists want to jump in on it too. Like I'm doing this for Mermay, but I saw tons and tons and tons of other artists drawing Zendaya at the Met Gala because we just all feel really drawn to that fantasy. And that's another byproduct, that you can kind of expect. If you do your job well and you PR that moment and you get the right dress on the right person in the right moment, I mean, that's also, a part of their marketing. It's not really part of their marketing budget. I think it's their hopes for marketing that it will happen. But sometimes that's why people do really bold, ugly things too. Like you got to wonder, like, why would they wear that? It's so obviously not right. But then they get just as much traction as the people that wore something that was amazing. And then you got a bunch of people that just fall in the middle of nowhere who brands are like, oh, well, that didn't take off, so maybe we won't use them again. It's mutually beneficial, I think. But the thing that I also love about Laura Roach and Zendaya working together is that they have those resources, and I think for the most part they purchase a lot of the looks that they wear on the press tours for things. Like she's just done the Challengers press tour, that tennis movie. A lot of that was done by Jonathan Anderson for Loewe, because he did the costume designs for the film, so he made a lot of custom stuff for her for the press tour. But like if they're going to vintage stores and buying some designer piece or from some kind of archive, like they will purchase it and she will own it or he will own it. And they've said, like, we're the people with the means to be able to purchase this stuff. And a lot of these small businesses run off of selling these garments. Why would we just ask to borrow them so we can have a moment in it? Like we should pay for that. We can and we should. And I think that's just another level of respect for what they're doing that I believe translates as well. I think all of those things translate. You can just, you don't know it, but then you're drawn to something or someone, and then you peel back the layers over time and you're like, oh, that's why. Like I didn't know that about you, but I knew there was something that I liked about you, and that makes total sense. You're just good people. So I feel like, not speaking on their character, but the way that they do fashion and the way that they have this reverence and respect for the business of it, but also, the fun of it. And I would always think that if I was someone that had endless means, I don't know how rich Zendaya is, but I think she's pretty rich. If I had lots of money and endless means, I would be doing lots of fun things with that money. Sometimes I just don't understand why people aren't making more hilarious, stupid movies, because they have the money to do it. They aren't wearing crazier more avant-garde fashions because they have the money to do it. They aren't doing, you know, more outrageous, you know, fun things with the money. People just love to put their money in a bank and watch it grow. Not do anything with it. Like billionaires especially. What are you doing with that money? We should have more fun theme parks, more stupid things that we can enjoy as entertainment, because you're a billionaire. Don't you want to just make some fun things? They're like, no, I just want more money. Anyway, weird crossover topic, but love Zendaya, love this look, love this Mermay. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm off to work. I'll see you again soon tomorrow. Bye.